It's that Monday time again. You feel that in the air? You feel that? Feels like Wheezy Mondays. How are you today? Are you doing good? I'm on week 12 of working out. Last time I had trouble remembering, but I realize now that I'm beginning week 12. So at the end of next week will be the 3-month mark. I just looked at a before-after photo, and I might show a before-after next time at the 3-month mark, but I might wait until a 4-month mark because the difference isn't huge. And I might want to wait until the difference is bigger, or after if it's 5, 6, 7, 8 months and there is no difference, then I'll just show that and I'll be like, working out, that's a bunch of bull crap, don't do it, doesn't work. No, I won't. The difference isn't huge, but it is there. And I notice when I look in the mirror, for sure, I notice a little bit more business going on in my arms, in my posture, my shoulders and my posture. It's subtle, but if you look at the picture, you can tell just you'd call it demeanor is different. You can tell that it's just a little stiffer, a little more upright versus 3 months ago where I'm kind of it seemed like when I shot it 3 months ago, I was tired at some point in the day when I was tired because I was kind of I didn't do myself any favors, but this time I don't know, I just feel a little more solid, and if you look at me, I think you can just get a feeling, but it's hard to really pinpoint why, because there isn't a lot of difference. There's just subtle differences. But maybe that's just the way it's going to be. I'm working out averaging 4 days a week at 40 minutes. Kind of the whole body, doing a whole body thing, just various days. Because I have a virtual trainer, a digital trainer, a real person, but kind of mixing it up. And so I'm doing the legs, doing the upper body. I didn't look at a picture of the legs, the lower body, because who wants to see that? But so there's a lot going on there too, and I'm kind of sore in this leg. I feel several weeks ago I pulled something, and then that kind of healed. I feel good now, but this leg now it feels like I overworked it. I might need to take a couple more days off, or a day off, or at least on that leg. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going, and I feel like it's working, and I just feel more solid, stiffer. There's a little bit more spring in my step. But also, on days when I don't work out, my sleep sucks, and I'm kind of sore sometimes. Occasionally, after intense workouts, I'll be sore the next day. There's several days here and there where I'm sore, where I just don't feel that great, which kind of sucks. But on days when I do work out, I sleep better, definitely. That definitely solves my sleep problem quite a bit. Sleeping straight through the night. But then the trade-off is that I'm healing. My body's healing all the time. So all in all, I'm glad I'm doing it, and it feels good to just feel a little like my posture is better. I'm standing taller. I feel it. It's not like I'm trying to stand taller. It's not like I feel yeah, bro, I'm working. It just kind of naturally feels that way. And it's good. I like it. It's a lot of work. I can see why a lot of people don't do it. I'm going to keep going, though. If I didn't have an audience, if I didn't want to show a result to people at the end, would I still do it? I think I would. For myself. I'm mostly doing it for myself. Would I stick to it so rigidly? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'd have more lazy days. Fall off and come back. I don't know. But I'm glad I'm doing it. In other news, very important. Pay attention now. I'm going to start adding a new thing to this channel. So my friend Jake Jarvie, he has a YouTube channel called Pineapple Boy Films. He doesn't do a whole lot on there now. He works a lot with Rob Scallon these days. He edits his videos. He shoots his videos, some of them, or I don't know the percentage. And He's Rick Riffson on Rob Scallon's YouTube channel, and he did the show Platoon of Power Squadron. He made it. I was one of the stars in it, and he's been a longtime friend. We have been doing a podcast together called Movied, all caps, exclamation point, Movied, for, I don't know, a few years now. And we just talk about movies in a mostly unedited fashion, which you're used to here on this channel, for like an hour and a half. Lately it's been movies that are the number one or the highest, the number one movie for that week in Netflix, or the previous week, previous 2 weeks, whatever. The number one movie. So they have a top 10 most popular things on Netflix, and we'll pick the top movie on there. Or the latest one we did was the movie The Rental. Horror-ish movie. Very good. Well, I spoiled what I thought of it. Very good movie. But we talked about that, and that one wasn't on Netflix, but that was top box office movie. Yeah, there's still a box office. So not that hard to be the top box office movie these days, probably. Not a lot of competition. But it was the number one, and it just looked good, so we talked about that one instead. That podcast, we've been doing it podcast style only for a while, but it's going to go on here now. Video style as well as podcast. Just like this podcast/video thing I'm doing. I don't know what day. Maybe Wednesdays? I don't know. Let's say Wednesdays. So you're gonna see another thing here. I don't know. It's not gonna be every week. Maybe so far we've been averaging like every other week. And so look out for a thumbnail that'll say "Movied," and then it'll have the poster of the movie The Rental with Jake and my faces neatly placed in there. That's how we do. That's how we do on Movied. I'm just start putting that up on here. You can watch it or not. Do what you feel. Let me know, what you think. If you're like, too many things. Let me know. I don't know if I'm going to do anything about it, but just go, too many things, if you feel that way. And so, you can watch it on here. You can subscribe to it podcast style. Right now, we have a SoundCloud. It's on iTunes. It's on lots of things. Movied. And we talked about Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War. We talked about a more recent one we talked about was the Old Guard with Charlize Theron. Is that what it's called? The Old Guard, I believe. 365 Days, which is a ridiculous movie, but it was number one on Netflix, so we talked about it. Some very old ones we did were Mother. We did Rise of Skywalker. We did The Last Jedi. It goes that far back to The Last Jedi. Lots of movies. Anyway, look out for that. In other news, so I'm working on the Rubik's Cube video right now. I got a new Rubik's Cube. This one's a lot smoother. I think last time I did this, I had a much less smooth one. This one's a beautiful dream. I've been using this one, and I went back to the other one, and it was horrible. It was a horrible nightmare. I'm never going back to that one again. This one's it's like butter. I'm sure I can get an even better one out there. I could probably douse this one in some oil, too, and make it even better, but it's pretty good right now. And I've gotten my time down, like I did one a minute and a half. I've gotten it down to like a minute and a half once. And twice. Around twice. And then sometimes a minute 45. But I'm probably averaging more like 2 minutes would be a safe bet. If you're gonna bet on my Rubik's Cube time, bet 2 minutes. Or maybe, depending on like how the bet works, if it's like if I go over that, you lose, then maybe bet like 2.5 minutes. But I'm getting better. I'm getting faster. I'm working on that video. That video should be done and up this week soon, a couple days. It's gonna be a funny one. I doused it in jokes, much like I should douse this in oil. You know how that happens, where you use a verb or an adjective that you don't always use. It's kind of unorthodox. It's a little out of the ordinary, like douse. Like, I don't always, that's not a word I use every day, but I say douse. I said douse in oil, and then later I was like, douse in, what was I saying? Jokes. Douse that video in jokes. And you ever do that? Like you use it once and then it's your go-to the next time you need a verb or an adjective. And you're like, oh, I used it twice. And the reason I used it the second time was because I had recently used it. It was fresh in my brain. I also notice when you're talking to other people and like you use a word you don't normally use, and then later in the conversation they use it. It's like it becomes, you bring a word to life and then it just gets thrown around. And sometimes I'm like, oh, that was my word. Now you're using it? That's weird. Words are weird, you know? I know a lot of words, but I can't call them all to mind right away, you know? Brains are like really dumb computers. You can quote me on that. Let's see how many times I use douse again the rest of this video. Anyway, because like douse in jokes, I was looking for a different word. Sprinkled? No, because that's not strong enough. The video is gonna be teeming. There you go, that's better. But that's not the way, that was not the sentence structure before. But the video is going to be teeming with jokes. Okay. I needed a new verb? Adverb? Verb. Yeah, verb. Anyway, I think it's going to be a funny one. It's going to be a fun one. After that, China and I are decluttering. Again, we did a video about why do people like minimalism. And then a few years ago, we did a few videos about, I had like a series where we were getting rid of a lot of stuff. But the minimalism one we just did wasn't really about our own experience of decluttering. It was just kind of about minimalism in general. This one is going to be about just us going through and getting rid of stuff and the value of that and why we do it and how it's not something you just do once. It's something you revisit, and I think it makes our lives better, and China thinks it makes our lives better, so we do it. And just kind of analyzing that. And last night I went through some clothes, like, as I've said, especially if you've seen my Why Do People Like Haul video, I'm a perpetual non-shopper. I don't buy new things. I don't buy new clothes. I have really old clothes. This shirt, Olin Rogers, I don't even buy clothes. People give me clothes. Olin Rogers gave me this shirt many years ago, and I love it. And all my shirts, I haven't bought a shirt in so long. And many of those shirts I don't like anymore. They're just there. So I went through and I threw them away. So now, especially when it gets colder, I threw away a lot of warmer shirts. I'm gonna need more clothes. I'm basically just forcing myself to get new clothes because I kinda need it. And I threw away a bunch of socks and a bunch of undies. Undies. Because they were old. I got some new socks though. I just have a bunch of old crap in there. Now my drawers are gonna be nice and neat and organized, and I'll know where everything is, and then I won't bury things that I actually like, and I'll use them. And it's just there's so much value in that. So it's so good to do that. This video in general won't be, I don't think it's gonna be like, you should do minimalism. I don't know that it's gonna really be about, I don't even know if we'll say the word minimalism. Maybe China will, and then I'll get angry about it. No, it's fine. But it's in general just getting rid of stuff. Because, like, I don't want to preach to everybody that you should be minimalist or some sort of Marie Kondo sort of thing. To me, that it's like, I just think it's good to have less stuff around. I just think it's good for you. Good for me, anyway. And I want to share that. So, I'm gonna do it. I already feel like, since we moved into this house, like most of my adult life I lived in apartments and I've moved around a lot, and so every move, get rid of stuff. And living by myself and someone who doesn't buy things, I wouldn't acquire a lot of things. And then now I live with a person who buys more things. She's not that out of control, but buys more than I do. And then when we moved into this house and now it's more permanent and we have more space and we know we're not gonna move for a while, like, things are just piling up. Just happened. I have too much stuff. Like, I mean, those things got to be put away for sure. And then there's another room over here. Ooh, you don't want to see. It's ugly. Our garage is filled with boxes. I could totally see how when you watch like the show like Hoarders, how, I mean, that's a little out of control. But I can totally see how you can get there if you're not paying attention. And I do think that makes your life worse when you can't even like walk through certain rooms of your house. But that's just me. Like, you do you. I'm not gonna make anyone do anything. If it works for you, it works for you. And then books. I talked about books last time. Just trying to read more books. I still tearing through my books a lot at a better rate now because I'm trying to do what I said last time, which is keep books around all the time and just read instead of like grabbing my phone, grabbing a book. It's working, not as well as it could, but it's working. And someone linked to or gave some tips. Several of you gave tips in the comments last time, and someone said have a book ready before you finish the book you're reading, which is really good because I was getting close to the end of this book, the Winston Churchill one, and I'm like, oh, what am I gonna read next when I'm done with this? I gotta have something. So I got another one. It's called The Mark and the Void by someone. I just went down this tangent, this rabbit hole on the internet. I came across this guy. Is it Chris Nguyen? Something Nguyen, who writes for GQ magazine, and he reads a ton of books. And I think I came across him because of looking for tips on how to read more books, and it was a book he recommended. So purchased that one. But what should I read? Recommendations? Like, I love sci-fi. I've read lots of sci-fi. But I don't only love sci-fi, and I'm kind of wanting something that's not sci-fi because I'm getting a little sick of it. I want to try something else. I recently read The Color of Magic, the first of the Discworld series. Loved it. I have the sequel, but I'm also not really gearing up for fantasy right now either. I kind of want something, I don't know, something a little more in the real world. Or nonfiction, which I'm a little sick of that too, because I've read a lot of that. That's been kind of my go-to a lot these days, especially because of the stuff I'm making here on YouTube, which generally, like, I'm trying to upgrade my life in a lot of ways all the time. That's sort of the trajectory that these videos and my job has gone, and what I'm making for you. And so a lot of books kind of coincide with that, a lot of nonfiction books. But I still am open to reading more of those. So what do you think? What should I read? Got any recommendations? Like, ideally, I think I want something funny. Funny, non-fantasy. It could have fantasy elements. It could have sci-fi elements, but not like a big, like, epic sci-fi thing or fantasy thing. Something funny. That's what I want. So that's what The Mark and the Void is supposed to be, funny. So I'm going with it. And then we got, what's next? Oh, this video idea came up, China and I came up with, actually I came up with it, tonight. So we were just we suddenly were listening to 90s hit songs. Like, we started listening to Alanis Morissette for some reason. I think, I said something like, "Oh, you live, you learn," and then we started singing the song, and then, like, we just asked Google to play it, and we listened to a bunch of Alanis Morissette, and we listened to Cranberries, No Doubt, a little Cake, Weezer, a lot of 90s, very 90s stuff. Like, we went hard 90s. And then while we were doing that, 4 Non-Blondes came on. Wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high. Okay, that's enough for now. That was my go-to karaoke song. One of them. That one and Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins. But that, and then something clicked in my mind. We were having so much fun. My mood, like I was kind of tired before that, and then we started singing along to all these songs. My mood was lifted so high. And then it clicked. I was like, what if I did karaoke every morning for a month? Wake up, do, maybe not set like a minimum, but if I do set a minimum, make it like a half hour. That's a lot. It's a lot of songs. Say minimum 20 minutes, depending on how I feel on that morning. Just belting out songs every morning, just to see what it does for me. I think that would be funny. It'd be a fun video. Every single morning, just see me doing some karaoke. So I think that's going to happen soon. Then there's, I skipped over drinking water. That's going to probably happen before the karaoke one. Drinking water, as much water as you're supposed to drink every day, even though that's a hard thing to pin down because it's different for everybody, and there's no really scientific agreement that there is supposed to drink a certain amount of water every day. That said, like just paying attention to how much I drink, setting a limit maybe, and trying it for a month, see how that makes me feel. Because there was one day there a few weeks ago last week maybe, I was feeling like crap and I couldn't figure out why, and then I just drank a ton of water and suddenly I felt great. I don't know if it was because of the water, but maybe. So I started to wonder, am I drinking the right amount? I usually drink a lot, maybe too much, but not always. If I'm paying attention to it, if I'm really calculating how much, so I'm making sure I'm not drinking too much, not drinking too little all the time, what will that do for me? Let's find out. Another thing going on in my brain for ideas for the future. I started thinking about, I did a Patreon video. I would do these kind of videos every single weekday on Patreon. And I did one where I brought up Clone Hard. Do you remember Clone Hard? An old Wheezy video that I did with Jake, who I do movied with. It's a short film, parody of Die Hard-ish, action, fun times, action comedy you could call it, and it's one of my favorite things I've ever done. And I started talking about how I've been wanting to do Clone Harder, the sequel, for a while, but I just don't have the time. It takes a lot of time, and it's very different than the things I've been doing lately, although that won't stop me. But I don't think it'll do as well. Like, narrative stuff just doesn't do as well on YouTube. Started thinking about it. I started thinking about that, doing that, just being like, let's just do it. Who cares? Just like, as soon as I have several videos I gotta get done, but as soon as there's breathing room, maybe I'll just buckle down, make Clone Harder. But then I started thinking, that's actually ultimately what I really want to do. I want to make narrative stuff, like short films, full-length films. Ultimately, I feel like that kind of is my ultimate goal. I don't know that I will do this kind of, I'll probably do this maybe forever, but because I'm going to live forever. But I don't know that I'll do like the kind of videos I'm doing on the main channel, Wheezy, forever. I think there's a shelf life there. I don't think I'm going to want to continue doing this kind of like personal self-improvement documentary type stuff all the time, forever. And I don't know that the audience you guys will want it forever, get kind of sick of it. So I started thinking, maybe the next step is to just start making short films, like legitimate short films, not just maybe some Wheezyverse stuff, clone, fun, short stuff, but more in a short film kind of way and less in a vloggy kind of way. But also just hire actors, just have a short film that's its own thing outside of Wheezy Waiter, which I've done before. Like Fine-Tuned is on the channel. Turned into a series, Algorithm, which I didn't direct. I co-wrote, but I didn't direct. There it had. Could you even say I co-wrote it? Produced it? I had a say in the writing, but I let the 3 writers kind of do it. And anyway, Fine Tune is a short film I did, but more stuff like that, like over and over and over again. Just keep doing it. Hire a crew, get real good at it, figure out how to make these things, and streamline the process. Maybe not streamline the process, just get good at it, and then maybe eventually make a full-length film. I think that might be the next change that this channel has, which might happen, I don't know, the beginning of next year. Maybe I should set a specific time so I get going. Beginning of next year. Yeah. 2021. The year of the short film. Well, maybe I should wait until people can be around each other. Whenever that happens. Then I'll start doing it. Doesn't mean I'll stop doing all these other things. Probably do them less. But just give it a try, see where it goes. I want to make short films. I want to stretch my film production muscle. I don't want to just do this self-centered, self-absorbed. I learned that I'm self-absorbed in our personality video that just went up. Personality test video. I don't want to just do this forever. I've been doing it for a long time. Long time. Me. Wheezy Waiter. This is me. This is my stuff. It's about me. Been doing that for a long time. And I still like it, but I think I want to try something else. You know? And I think I will eventually. I'll probably still do this though, of course, because this is fun and not hard. And it can update you about the things I'm working on. So that's where I'm at with that. What other news? Just watched the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino, nominated for Best Picture. A couple friends of mine, I've seen people on Twitter and IRL friends who didn't like it. So I didn't expect much, even though a lot of people like it. I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. There's a lot of recent Quentin Tarantino stuff I don't like as much. The last thing of his that I loved was Kill Bill. And then I liked, to varying degrees, the other things. I didn't really like Hateful Eight. But I liked this more. I liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood more than... It might be like my second favorite behind Pulp Fiction, which is a controversial statement because it's not. I know a lot of people don't like it, and a lot of you are like, "What? No." The ending, I saw it coming because of the way he's been ending things these days, and that I didn't love so much. It's slow. It's slow and it's a little challenging, and a little off. It's very meandering, goes on tangents, but so does Pulp Fiction. And I don't know, something about it, it drew me in. I loved the feeling of, there are several great scenes, great scenes. He's always good at scenes. Sometimes they don't all come together in a whole, but there's great scenes, kind of slow, but I loved not knowing what's going to happen next, legitimately not knowing, because I can usually tell if a movie, most formulaic Hollywood movies, they have beats, they have acts, they have structure that's the optimum structure for a hero's journey or a full story arc in a movie in a 2 hour and a half, 2 hour time span, and I can usually tell what's going to happen somewhat, or I'll know that this person's not going to die. This is James Bond. James Bond's not going to die or something, With this movie, and Tarantino in general, legitimately no idea. No, anything could have happened, and it wouldn't have felt out of the ordinary because the whole thing was out of the ordinary. And I liked that feeling. I liked just not, legitimately being taken on a ride that I didn't know what was going to happen. Because that doesn't happen to me that often when I watch a movie. Oh, went over a half hour, had to cut. That said, it's not for everyone. Don't go, my God, Wheezy loved this movie. We have to watch it. You're all going to love it. No, that won't be the case. I guarantee you. The percentage, maybe it'll be 50% of you, if you go watch it, will end up liking it. But, and I'm sure many of you in the comments are going to be like, don't watch it. It's terrible. It's trash. It's fine. Go ahead. I'm just telling you right now, I liked it. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. Also watched Jumanji, The Next Level. Because we watched Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, because I had seen it trying ahead, and also good. Surprised me when I watched it years ago. Talked about it on Movied, the podcast. I liked it. Surprised me that I liked it. And then we watched the sequel. Good. Probably as good as the first one. That's more of the formulaic kind of movie, which I also liked. I don't just like the weird stuff. Some of you are going to say that you're going to reference Dr. Horrible because of what I just said, the weird stuff. Yeah, I get it. I saw that too. One more thing, Discord. I'm going to start a Discord for the Wheezy Waiter community. Setting it up now, working with someone through Patreon. He offered to help. And so eventually there's going to be a Discord for people to just communicate. There are going to be various channels. You can share music, promote something that you're doing, all that stuff. Going to set that up. So be on the lookout for that. Maybe on Twitter. Maybe I'll mention it in the next Wheezy Waiter video. I don't know when it's going to come up, when we're done setting it up. And that is it. Check out the Movied podcast. Be on the lookout for that. It'll probably be the next thing that comes up on this channel. And be on the lookout for the next Wheezy Waiter video. And be on the lookout for poison. Don't consume poison. That's it. I do these kind of videos every single weekday on Patreon. These videos are also a podcast if you would like to listen instead. See my big ugly mug and playlist of Wheezy Monday videos. I hope all is well with you.